Peppa Pig, Peppa and the Flying Vet. Peppa has brought Goldie the fish to the vet for a checkup. "You've got a healthy fish, Peppa," says Dr. Hamster. "Thank you," says Peppa. Suddenly, Dr. Hamster's telephone rings. It is Mr. Elephant. "Hello, Dr. Hamster," he says. "We found a sick lizard in the mountains." It's a gecko, not a lizard," adds Edmund Elephant. "I'll be right there," says Dr. Hamster. Dr. Hamster springs into action. "Can we come too?" asks Peppa. "Of course," replies the vet. "All aboard the aeroplane." "I didn't know you had an aeroplane, Dr. Hamster," says Mummy Pig. "Oh yes," replies Dr. Hamster proudly. "I'm the flying vet." Mr. Elephant spots the aeroplane in the sky. "Thank goodness," he exclaims. "The vet is here." When Dr. Hamster lands, she calls, "Where's the sick lizard?" "This poor lizard is upside down," says Dr. Hamster, flipping it over. "There, he's all better." Then Dr. Hamster's mobile phone rings. "This must be another emergency," she says, answering the call. "Hello, Grandpa Pig here," says Grandpa Pig. "It's Polly, she's sick." "I'll be right there," promises Dr. Hamster. So Peppa, George and Mummy Pig jump back into the aeroplane. "Look, Polly, it's the flying vet," cries Grandpa Pig when he sees the airplane. "We're going into the sea," cries Peppa. "This is a seaplane, Peppa," says Dr. Hamster. "We can land on the water." "Polly has been ill since we got on board," explains Grandpa Pig. "She must be seasick," says Dr. Hamster. And when Grandpa Pig puts Polly on dry land, she soon feels much better. Dr. Hamster's mobile phone rings again. It is Daddy Pig in his office. "There are some ducklings stuck on our roof," says Daddy Pig. "You're just in time," says Daddy Pig. "Mrs. Duck laid her eggs on our roof," says Mrs. Cat.
Meow.
"And they hatched," adds Mr. Rabbit. "But the ducklings don't know the way to the pond." "Who can make a quacking noise?" asks Dr. Hamster. "Quack, quack," says Peppa, and the ducklings follow her back to the pond. Dr. Hamster's phone rings for a fourth time. "Is it another emergency?" asks Peppa hopefully. "Yes, that was Mr. Hamster," says Dr. Hamster. "I'm late for tea. Must fly." "Thanks for your help," everyone cries, waving her off in her airplane. "No problem," Dr. Hamster calls. "It's all in a day's work for the flying vet." The end. Peppa Pig, Peppa's busy day. It is 7 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 7. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Peppa wakes up. "Time to get up, George," cries Peppa. It is 8 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 8. At 8 o'clock, Peppa has breakfast. "Yummy," says Peppa. Can I have some more, please? It is 9 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 9. At 9 o'clock, Peppa and George go to playgroup. Dinosaur, says George. It is 12 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 12. At 12 o'clock, Madame Gazelle takes everyone for a picnic lunch. I love picnics, says Peppa. It is 2 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 2. At 2 o'clock, Mammy and Daddy Pig pick up Peppa and George in their car. Toot toot! It is 3 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 3. At 3 o'clock, Peppa and George go to the playground. Swing time, shouts Peppa and Rebecca Rabbit. It's 6 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 6. At 6 o'clock, it's time for dinner. Pancakes, cheers Peppa. They're my favourite. It is 7 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 7. At 7 o'clock, Peppa and George get ready for bed. Time to scrub and brush, says Peppa. It is 8 o'clock. Move the big hand to the 12 and the little hand to the 8. At 8 o'clock, it's bedtime. Mammy and Daddy Pig come in to say goodnight. But Peppa and George are fast asleep. The Peppa Pig Peppa's Sandpit. Peppa and her friends are playing in the sandpit. This sandpit is our desert island, decides Peppa. We will live here forever. If we are going to live here forever, I want it to be nice, says Susie Sheep. The desert island just needs some houses, says Peppa. And roads, barks Danny Dog. And shops, says Susie Sheep. Dinosaur, shout George and Richard. Yes, snorts Peppa. The desert island can have dinosaurs too. Emily Elephant looks at the desert island. She thinks that it needs trees.
Wow!
Where are we going to get trees from? asks Susie. Danny Dog has an idea. We have to drive big trucks around the world and look for trees. The dinosaurs guard the desert island while the others go to find some trees. Hello, Mummy Rabbit, says Danny. Have you got any spare trees? Mummy Rabbit picks up some sticks. There you go. Peppa and her friends drive their trucks back around the world.
Wow!
They plant the trees. There, says Peppa. We will live here forever. Candy Cat and Zoe Zebra come to see the desert island. It would be really good if it had a lake,
Meow!
says Candy. Danny digs a lake. Now it needs some water. The children pretend to fly around the world looking for water. Pedro Pony is playing on the roundabout. I know where there is pretend snow, he says. We can melt it to get pretend water.
Wow!
This is a pretend mountain, shouts Pedro. Pedro climbs to the top of the mountain, but there is no snow up there. It has melted in the sun. Can we pretend it hasn't melted? Says Susie. No, neighs Pedro. It has melted good and proper. Candy spots Daddy Pig. He is drinking from the water fountain. Can we have some water in our bucket, please? asks Peppa. Oh, snorts Daddy Pig. Of course. The children fly back to the desert island. Peppa fills up the lake. We've got water, giggles Peppa. Freddy Fox arrives. The desert island is nearly ready. If only it had some flags, sighs Zoe. Mr. Fox takes a look in his van. He has got everything in his van.
Wow!
How about these? He grins. Now the desert island is perfect. It has trees, roads, shops, dinosaurs, flags, and a real lake. We can live here forever and ever, cheers Peppa. The end. Peppa Pig. Read it yourself. School bus trip. Peppa and her friends are going on a school bus trip.
Hooray!
Is everyone here? Says Madame Gazelle. Yes, they say. Everyone loves school trips. Where are we going for our trip? Says Peppa. We are going to the mountains, says Madame Gazelle.
Hooray!
Hooray! Everyone says. They all look out as they go. The bus is going to the top of a big mountain. It is very high up.
Wow!
Come on, bus, says Peppa. Up, up, up they go. The children sing a song as they go. The bus gets to the top and everyone gets out. Come and look at the big mountains, says Madame Gazelle.
Wow!
Peppa looks at the mountains. She is very high up. Wow, she says. Everyone hears, wow, wow, wow. What was that? Says Peppa. That was an echo, says Madame Gazelle. It is what you hear when you call out up in the mountains. Come on, everyone, says Peppa. We can all make an echo. The children call out. Wow, they can hear. Wow, wow, wow. Everyone loves echoes. Come on, children, says Madame Gazelle. It is time for your picnic.
Hooray!
Hooray, says everyone. Where are the ducks? Says Peppa. They love it when we have picnics too. Peppa and her friends look out for the ducks. Here come the ducks. Hooray, says Peppa. Quack, 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 say the ducks. Come here, ducks, says Madame Gazelle. Yes, come to our picnic, ducks, says Peppa. Then the ducks have a big picnic too. It is time to go back to school. The children get in the bus. Then they sing a song as they go back down the mountain. Everyone loves school trips. The end. Read it yourself. Peppa Pig Nature Trail. Peppa Pig and her family are going on a picnic in the woods. Daddy Pig has the map.
Wow.
We need the picnic too, says Mummy Pig. But the picnic is still in the car. In the woods, Peppa sees something on the ground. Look down there, says Peppa. I can see some footprints on the ground. Peppa and her family follow the footprints on the ground.
Wow.
A bird made these footprints, says Mummy Pig. Look up there in the tree, says Peppa. I can see some birds. There is a mummy bird and some little birds up in the tree. Then Peppa sees more little footprints on the ground. Look down there, says Peppa. I can see some ants. Peppa and her family are hungry. They need the picnic, but it is still in the car. Daddy Pig looks at the map. I don't know the way back to the car, he says. I know, says Peppa. I can see our footprints too. We can follow our footprints back to the car. Then it rains. The rain takes all the footprints away. Oh no! I know, says Peppa. I can see some ducks over there. Ducks love the rain and they love picnics. We can follow these ducks back to the picnic in our car. The hungry family follow the ducks all the way back to the car. I love picnics in the wood, says Peppa. The birds, the ants and the ducks love the picnic too. The end. Peppa Pig. Read it yourself with Ladybird. Sports Day. It is Sports Day at school.
Wow.
Peppa, George and everyone are there.
Hooray!
First, it is the running race. Ready, steady, go, says Madame Gazelle. They all run as fast as they can. Peppa is not ready. She comes last, and she is not at all happy. Rebecca Rabbit wins the running race. Hooray! Everyone says. Next is the long jump. Ready, steady, go, says Madame Gazelle again. George jumps as far as he can, but he comes last. George is not happy at all. Richard Rabbit wins the long jump.
Hooray!
Hooray! Everyone says. Next, it is the relay race. Ready, steady, go! Says Madame Gazelle again. Daddy Pig runs as fast as he can. Here, Peppa, says Daddy Pig. Run as fast as you can. But Peppa is not ready. Emily Elephant wins the relay race. Hooray! Everyone says. Peppa comes last again, and she is not happy at all. Next, it is the tug of war.
Wow.
Ready, steady, go! Says Madame Gazelle. Everyone tugs as hard as they can. Snap! The rope breaks. Now everyone wins, says Madame Gazelle.
Hooray!
Hooray! Says Peppa. I win at last. I like Sports Day. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.